Well, it's a good thing I showed up.
I know.
We'll make up like 15% of us.
Yeah.
Success is 90% showing up.
I'm here.
And 6 times 15%, that's 90. So
I was almost going to have to do it in my car. There's like 2 accidents on the 91. They have the 55 and the 91 shut down. So I had to literally drive a 57 to the 5 and come up Jamboree to the toll road.
wow.
Cool. All right. Yeah, let's get going. I think I wanted to start it off. Remember Sam, on the first day we did that PowerPoint?
Yeah.
I just want to go over real quick for those that didn't see it. So let me just share that.
Cool.
It's better or worse.
Okay.
Is it still recording?
Yeah, it's recording. You guys see it?
Yep.
All right, cool. So first step, and then we talked about, assigning tasks for all of us to do. But the whole goal of this mastermind is to just get clarity. That's a big part, right? Figuring out what the brand's going to be and what you want to do with it. And then set some goals, set some timelines, milestones. That's one thing that all of us need to work on for sure, is like making sure that we are accountable for the goals and milestones that we set. So that's why part of the idea of this is to help keep each other accountable. Lucky for us, we got the badass COO that can yell at us here. So we'll task that with you. Also, when we actually start the posting, a big part of it will be the engagement group. So supporting each other by following each other, liking each other's posts, comments, giving feedback also. Feedback will go a long way too. Even in a smaller group, it makes a big difference when you're trying to get some content out there. So that'll be a big part of it. And then just share and learn from each other. So that's the whole purpose of this meeting, is to get some feedback, what worked, what didn't. And we'll go through that in a second. But real quick, we'll just go through kind of the steps here. So the plan is to define your audience and end destination. I know we talked about it last time. The easiest way is to figure out what you want to do with it at the end and then reverse engineer it. So if you want to be a coach, or if you want to sell a product, or if you're trying to increase your business at your business or whatever, as long as you know that's the goal, then you can get everything to go in line with it. But without a destination, then you'll really just be chasing followers and likes, which at the end won't pay you unless you have something in place. Next, create a plan and a production schedule. And we could go a little bit more into this in detail. I could tell you what worked for me in the past when I used to post a lot. Batching makes a lot of difference. A way to capture leads. We got a couple of us that put something in place, and we'll go through that this week. Establish authority. A lot of you guys are part of the book. That's a really big way to be able to do that, to leverage the best-selling author brand. Because the idea is to just let people know that you're serious about the topic, and then you have some sort of reason for people to listen to you. So, if you're a coach on a certain subject and you wrote a book or something that is in line with that, then it just makes all the difference when you're trying to reach out to other people. So that's the next step, which is get out there and build an audience. Right now, most relevant way is to get onto other people's podcasts, get on other people's blogs, get on, have people talk about you, but they don't know if you're the right person they want to talk to unless you have some of that authority built up. So that's the whole idea behind that. Then create relevant lead generating content. Once you figure out who your audience is, and then you position yourself as, hey, this is what I want to talk about. Now create the value content that's going to give people the feeling that, hey, I'm consuming all this stuff. Now I should give back in some way. And that could be in the form of becoming your client, consuming more of your content, subscribing to something that you have. But really, that's the name of the game. And then find collaborations. So all this, when you put it all together, you'll find other people that have similar audiences, and that's the goal, is to find people with bigger audiences than us with the right people, and then get onto their pages or channels and try to make an impact. So we don't have to go through all this, but really we're a lot of us are still in phase 1. So yeah, let's get going as far as feedback from last week. So real quick, so I know me and Sam, we wanted to create a lead capture type of like some sort of giveaway that's gonna create some lead capture. So basically a lead magnet PDF. So we got here, it's pretty cool. So we got mine and we got Sam's going. Sam's badass CEO, the badass ladder. I like it, the five steps. So something like this, all he has to do really is have some sort of content that's going to cater to Sam's brand, which I really like, because he got really specific. Like even on the PDF itself, if you're a guy in your 30s or 40s, ambitious as hell, but spinning your wheels, I mean, that's pretty damn specific, right? So that's perfect. Once he gets, because literally what's going to happen is like, you're going to get a bunch of people, they'll be like, oh, I'm not interested in this. And then you say something like this, like, yeah, I'm in my 30s. Oh, I'm ambitious. Hey, this guy's talking to me. Oh, what? I should download this PDF? Cool. And once they do that, get their email, and then now you got the PDF, which is going to enhance the brand. And the more they engage with you as the so-called influencer, the more they're going to want to continue to get in your content, join whatever you're putting together. One thing I would suggest, even though I don't like this on mine, like, you know, your face, I did enough research to realize that there's a reason why every single one of Tony Robbins' books has his face on it. It's like, it could be about something completely like random, and then a lot of times they put like, it's just their face on the cover because it's personal brand. All they're seeing, especially when they're scrolling, is the first impression is like your face. So if you can do, and you're the headshot guy, if you get a good headshot and put it on the cover, I think it'll go a long way, because now it'll reference, you want to subconsciously get badass CEO, the 5 levels with a ladder with that guy's face, and put it on there. But that's cool. So yeah, that's me and Sam got done this week, and I think we have more, but we'll start with you. What's your plans for this week, and what else did you get done?
Me?
Yeah, you.
What's your list of 5 things?
So I started filming myself in the car, driving back and forth from the office. So far, I have 11 shorts filmed. One of them is edited. So I'm trying to build a specific editing preset, so I can just like drop the video in, and it will just kind of populate like a finished version of it, trying to streamline that process. I recorded another one this morning. My goal is to at least record 2 shorts every day. And once I have a 30 edited version of those shorts, that's what I'm going to start regularly posting 1 short every day to various platforms. So I'm going to focus on creating those shorts this week.
Cool. All right. Yeah, as for me, you know, I got the lead magnet done. I created a splash page. Have you created something where they can get this, some sort of splash page, or like an opt-in page yet?
No, not yet. I'm gonna use Go High Level, and then I use a site as like a landing page, so where people can go and download. But I need some help in terms of how to make that PDF accessible. You know, like, do I use like a Dropbox and link it, or you know, some other way that we can do it? So maybe I'm gonna consult with you after this call.
Yeah, we'll go through it. I mean, there's not one way to do it. Some people just literally have it as a link, and then you just disclose where that link is once they opt in, you know, either from, like a Dropbox or like a Google Drive or something like that. But
we want to capture the information from the people who download it. So that's what I need to set it up. Like,
yeah. So basically you need to have an opt-in page where it says, hey, you want this badass PDF that's going to make you a badass. You basically give me your email and your name, and then click the button, and then you'll get the link, right?
Yeah.
It can either be that, or sometimes I think in Go High Level and a lot of the other systems, they have an option where I can email them. So like it'll email them the PDF. At the end of the day, that's kind of what you want, at least for them to think is going to happen, because if they think that they're just going to get the download link, they'll put a fake email address. You know what I mean? So if you tell them, hey, it's going to be emailed to you, then they'll make sure they put a real one in there. So even though at the end it just redirects them, you know, the at least the idea is that they need to put in the real email to get it. Cool. I know we had some people. I know Scotty. But as far as I know you said you were going to plan like all your posts, but I know we got a little busy. But as far as, do you have a kind of a little bit more grasp on the brand that you're trying to portray?
Yeah, I think last week I just was too caught up in the whole book thing that I literally devoted zero brain space. I said I was going to do it, and then I devoted zero brain space. But now that this week I have pretty much who's going to be in or not, so I don't have to worry about calling 50 million people.
Yeah,
I'll actually set some time aside, and I'll be able to use what we talked about, and it'll give me a better direction for what had I not been a part of the last time, you know. But yeah, I think I have a better idea, but I haven't done anything yet. So maybe hopefully next week we'll have a better.
Yeah, again, I think it's easy to figure out the content if you do one of these. Like if you do,
Yeah,
and
that's my goal. I'm gonna do
and
it should be all of our goals actually.
yeah, I mean, and like with the help of AI, it's not super hard to do it anymore. You know, you can what used to take people a week to take a day, you know. But there is a kind of a theme, and then like both of ours have like steps. Like there's 5 things, mine's 10 steps. You know, those kind of things. It just resonates with people. That seems easy. If you just like they're looking for a step-by-step process. So if you figure out what you're trying to solve and just create like, hey, 3 steps to do this, 5 steps to do this, then it's enticing for the right audience. But also now it's a guide of what your content could be about. Like the stuff that Sam put in here, you know, he has 5 different levels. I mean, he can literally create content on each one of these levels. Like, hey, is this where you're at? This is what you need to change. Hey, is this where you're at? There's a lot of content that could come from just that as a framework that'll help out. How about you, Saul? I know you were talking about being the great connector and things like that. And we talked about the credit thing. Have you thought about it more?
Yes, I actually made some connections in that space. I did not work on creating a landing page or something to give them. So I'd like to figure out what is it that I'm going to impart to people as the great connector, because right now it's just me connecting people to other things they need. Mm-hmm. So I have to brainstorm on what does that mean for other people coming to me. Am I trying to help them connect other people to them, or am I simply providing a service one-on-one? So it needs some clarity.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm thinking if you're just literally connecting people, it kind of limits you to like, you know, who you know and what they need. But if you teach people how to connect, it could be anybody, right? It could be millions of people. Or I mean, it doesn't mean that you can't do both. It's like, hey, if you're not in the area, this is how you become a connector, and this is the benefits of being a connector. If you are in the area, hey, I can connect you with somebody, you know, it can be something like that.
Or I can specialize in things that are nationwide, right? Like my business is nationwide. I can connect people on that level, at least regarding the financial difficulty solutions.
For sure.
Solid.
Yeah. How about you, Pam?
Hi. So I've been thinking about how I want to, you know, my personal brand, and Pam I Am is pretty much where I think I'm going to go to. I may modify that from time to time, but maybe proud, because I'm proud. I'm proud of who I work with, who I work for. I'm proud of what I've done in my life. I'm proud I've been able to achieve, you know, graduating college and getting my real estate license. And, you know, I'm proud. I'm proud of myself for obstacles, and I plan on, you know, skyrocketing. a headshot would be great today, so I can actually start a PDF. But pretty much I'm authentic. I just want to be my real me. And I don't know what audience I want, women, I think, is who I'm going to, focus on. Maybe women in transition, whether it be, I don't know what topics yet, confidence, public speaking, setting goals, trajectory, writing a book. So I'm going to be an author, I think. I have to think about what I'm going to write my chapter about, because God knows I have a lot to choose from. And yeah, that's about it, I think.
Yeah. So the rule of thumb is, when you're trying to find your audience is, there's two ways you could position yourself, right? You could position yourself as the expert because you've been doing it for a while,
Right.
Or somebody's coming along with you on a journey of transformation, which both are equally as powerful, right? So usually if you're falling under the transformation part, the easy rule of thumb is to just target yourself. So target people who are like you in your situation, because those are the people who are going to resonate with the message that you're putting out, because you're showing your journey. So like literally, I mean, I think you have an interesting story for yourself. Like if you were to target, women, who just, are transitioning from being maybe a stay-at-home and they're like going through a divorce and now they're trying to create like their own thing, as far as like, getting back in the workforce or like becoming independent, whatever that may be. That's a pretty solid market. You know what I mean? A lot of people that would resonate with that. And that could literally just be your target. And then you're literally just taking people on the journey with what you're doing.
Yes.
That could definitely work.
Sounds good.
So I know Derek, is this the first time you're joining us, Derek?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically the first thing that we're trying to do is just solidify a brand. The easiest way is to figure out what you want to do with it at the end, right? If you want to, make a product out of it, coach out of it, a business out of it, or like just help people with it, with like how many people you want to help with it, whatever it may be, there's some sort of end goal, not just we're just posting just a post, right? So do you have any ideas as far as where you're thinking you're going to direct this?
Yeah. As we were just kind of going through this right now, kind of an idea came to, actually a bunch of ideas swam through my head. I don't know that I want to focus on mortgage and real estate. I think there's a lot of that out there. If I'm going to do something, I want to do it a little bit differently. So I think I'll mesh like a handful of different ideas, coming up with a title like Overcoming What Now. And I think it's something that, one, I can do on my own, but I can also blend my wife into. And it ties into, our engagement encounter, marriage, health and diet journeys, dealing with, having an adult special needs son or anybody that has a special needs child, some of the challenges that they go through, what they have to overcome, some of the programs and different things, whether it's through the church or it's an individual caregiver, long-term care, Special Olympics, some of these various types of programs as well. Drug and alcohol recovery is another thing, spirituality, life over 50 as an empty nester. I think there's a myriad of topics that you could expand on any one of those on a pretty high level. You could probably chat GPT all of those and ask for, 15 to 20 different topics on each one, and I could have something for each week. I don't know necessarily daily, but like he said something about shorts, maybe you could do something like that. So I think that would be a direction that I would start going, because one, it would, it could be for me, but like I said, it could be something that my wife and I could do together. Obviously she gets a little bit healthier in her own journey, but we've been through some pretty big stuff from, finances and, going broke and having money and losing everything and having money and going broke again, from Joanne's accident to her health and long-term, opiates to, alcohol recovery. I think there is a big thing. And I believe that could appeal to a lot of people. So we could perhaps gain a following with that. My communicating to win, I think that's just something separate where I would go to real estate offices and maybe go that direction all on my own. Don't necessarily know that I would need to, like, say build a site around it or anything like that, but I don't know. I think this has a lot more meat and potatoes to it, and I think I could take it a lot of different directions, which I wouldn't really run out of content from by any means. And I think it's something that, like, you could, make like a deal like you guys have, and click the link and create that email capture campaign and build a following from it.
So what's your thought? So Jason, what's your thought when you have somebody like Derek that has multiple skill sets, multiple licensing, multiple ways of creating income?
I mean, I think we already talked about this, where I always thought that he should reside, like where his brand should be. His brand should be in that relationship marriage aspect. As far as the only thing I don't know if it's going to cater specifically to people who are embarking as a newlywed, like what you've been doing for people who are at the beginning stages, or if it's just in like marriage in general. Well, it could be people who have been married for 20 years but are going through like shit, right?
Yeah, I put premarital on there as well, so it'd be like premarital and marital, and marriage.
Yeah, I think it's like, I think you can broaden it, but you can broaden it, but actually be more specific. If you broaden it to more like marriage, like it's some way to because this is the thing. It'd be awesome if people before they got married were to go through all the checklists and make sure they have everything in the row, but most likely they don't. It's like insurance. You don't realize you need it until like it's like, oh shit, too late, right? So it's like,
because everything's good up to that point. You're
right.
Like, yeah, we're in love and everything's wonderful and all the great things are going to happen, and then you're like, cool, man, sale. Holy shit, it's stormy out here. Wow, we didn't think about that.
Right.
We didn't know who was going to batten down the hatches.
Yeah, exactly. So like it's usually at that point that people will start seeking out like information, right? It's kind of like it's almost like you have to convince like the people who are in their like honeymoon phase that, hey, you need to like seriously look at this stuff. Like, wow, we're in love, nothing bad's gonna happen. You know what I mean? It's like when shit hits the fan, that's when they're going to start looking for information and going to
100%.
like, so that's why it should be the information they should be getting at the beginning, but it's not catered to them because most likely it's for people that realize that they need it later during the relationship, right?
Well, and the only reason that people go through our program is because they go, well, we're going to get married and we're going to go to the church. And the church is like, well, you have to go. It's like a first-time home buyers program.
Yeah, but it's for you unaffiliated with the church. To force them to do it is not going to happen, right? So it needs to be, they're going to come to you as need basis.
Yeah.
Well, I think for your brand, overcoming life's challenges is certainly a much wider audience than preventing life's challenges.
Well, that's why I just had that like overcoming. Overcoming can mean a lot of things, and it might be enough to draw overcoming what,
Well, this is the thing. So, I mean, life challenges through marriage is a huge topic, right? Because there's literally like that's probably one of the biggest, like relationship coaching is one of the biggest like sectors for coaching out there, and it falls under that category. Like if you can fit, like if Scotty we're talking about overcoming loss, overcoming change. It's almost the same thing with you, but for marriage particularly. Like big changes, right? Big changes in marriage, right? It could be a child that's born with special needs, right? That's a big change. It could be financial, like preparing for buying a house. That's why I remember we spoke about it, because literally if you deal with family issues, the stuff with insurance, the stuff with mortgages are just part of that.
Yeah.
You don't have to like sell them on it. It's just like, hey, when it's time to buy a house, make sure you know this stuff. Otherwise your relationship might go sour if you guys don't have these discussions. Oh, by the way, this is how you find a good mortgage, right? You know what I mean? But it all ties into
chapter in the book, basically.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's just tying in the whole, making sure your relationship is solid during the marriage. Financial is a big part of it. Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is, if you're interested in insurance, here's are some resources, right? This authority mortgage guy is the best I know, but it can all tie in. It could all.
I think it's very endless. I think I have a big bucket with that, and I can go a lot of different directions with it.
Well, the problem with it is that if the bucket's too big, it goes nowhere, right? So that's the you know, like just think of it this way: like if you have a bucket of rain and the bucket is like this big, it's easy to fill that up. If it's
But
like
if it's all marriage though, like say if it's all relationship marriage related, I mean, isn't that kind of the bucket, if you will? Not really everything.
well, the problem is you're trying to stand out. So there is 10 billion freaking marriage counselors and couples therapists that are already out there. As you get more specific, dealing with specifically marriage, dealing with specific special needs child, your bucket went like this, right?
Well, that's the thing that Artie brought up. She's like, that's what, you know, special needs. Like that's maybe something that
you don't have to segment it only on that. I'm just saying that you can.
No, I get it.
You're basically saying, hey, this is my life. I mean, even what your wife went through now, in which she's ready, that's a really powerful story for people who are going through that. You know what I mean? That's something that you're not, it's just not just you guys. There's a ton of people in that same scenario.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then taking action.
Yeah, and how to get off medications, like detoxing, and how to find a doctor to where you can, you know, get off your Xanax.
But people want to hear, people know that that's what that's the step they need to take. But what people don't know is how does that affect the marriage, and what do you have to do to make sure the marriage like survives during that process, right? That's where you have the insight that a lot of people don't. And you have the insight onto the insurance and mortgage side too, like other people don't, right? So that's why you focus on those things and like.
Man, I'm super smart.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Just realize that.
Yes, you are.
I mean, that's a bonus. Even the part where, you know, when someone goes off to experience some kind of recovery, and the fact that they don't have to go through that alone, that the other spouse can go and check in on them physically, personally, in person, even though they're away for 30 days, as an example. Most people wouldn't know that. I didn't even know that, right? So the fact that you have experienced that someone going off to find their path, doesn't have to completely do it alone, would be a huge thing, because that would be a very big fear in a marriage, that how am I going to live without the other person for 30 days?
Yeah, how 30 days turned into 4 months. Which actually, my wife comes home tomorrow, by the way.
All right.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah,
Very cool.
that's if she doesn't change her mind.
Well, if she does, there's probably a good reason for it.
Is solving and disappearing.
Oh, good.
She's getting equipped with tools that most people don't know are even out there, or don't know how they. Yeah. So how would a typical marriage survive even 30 days, let alone for 4 months? So I mean, you got some insight that most people don't have any idea how they'd start the journey, let alone how they'd walk through it. But you can walk them through it.
Yeah, I think that would be a good one. I feel like that's, for me, I feel like that's the best place to be. I don't necessarily like the mortgage and real estate branding. There's a million of them out there that are doing it, you know. The communicating to win. I don't think that's things that people look into. I think that's a journey through real estate offices and mortgages office, and maybe going that direction with it first and then going from there. But this feels like something that, you know, I could definitely firsthand knowledge, life experience. And I think that's what most of it is just sharing your story.
Well, I mean, story is what sells, right?
Yeah.
You just say like, "Hey, I got the best interest rates." You know, 7.2, whatever. Everybody says that, right? But you know, hey, let me tell you a story of how this affected me and my marriage, and like making sure that we communicate on this. And then when this happened, you need to do that. And like, hey, just help us with it. You know what I mean? Like, and like, you know what you're doing. Like, you know, it could be a thing. I mean, literally, if you.
That's why I feel like overcoming is like a nice broad statement, because in most people's mind, like you were saying, it's not until the problem arrives that we begin to think about how to solve it. Exactly. So I need to figure out how to overcome something, and then overcoming could be enough of a draw.
Exactly. I mean, so far, I mean, everybody's has that overcoming.
I mean, I just came up with all that right now, so that's.
But I mean, that's the way you do it. I mean, like you know, Sam's is all about overcoming being a non-badass to try to become a badass. You know, Sam. You know, and Pam's is basically, you know, like the whole transition, overcoming that hardship of, you know, changing your life, right? Mine is I'm blending, like it's mostly 100% focused on purpose, like not. If you know, not knowing your purpose and then trying to align with it. It's all like, some sort of problem solution type thing, So cool. Before we get into, I guess, the assignments, I just want to touch real quick on like production, because I know we were talking about production. You're planning on doing production. Everybody's different, but what worked for me, and then I've heard other creators talk about doing the exact same process. So kind of validated is just to schedule one day of recording. So if you could just dedicate, because a lot of times, like we talk about, like for you, for example, you said, oh, like, I don't know if I'll post every day, maybe once a week, because it sounds super daunting. Like creating content every single day and posting every single day is a lot of freaking work, right? The idea is to batch it into record days and content development days. So when I was posting like every day, like years ago, I would have just one day that I was shooting all the content. And it was basically like an hour and a half of shooting. Literally, if you want to do, and the goal for me, it was to do one long form video and a ton of shorts every week. So an hour and a half, if you're planned out exactly, if you know what you're going to record, you can get a lot done, especially with the shorts, and the shorts being like 30 seconds to, a minute or whatever. Once you get in the flow, like every time the first couple is like, that's tough. And then you get in the flow and you can just blast through a ton of it if you already have some sort of script or idea like in front of you. So the idea is like the way our brains work, like it's hard to switch from like creation mode and like recording mode. It's like, it's not like the same like energy, so to speak. So choose a different day to come up with the content. A different day you sit down at ChatGPT and do some stuff, copy some stuff over. And that's the thing too. When I was doing it before, there was no ChatGPT, so it was a lot harder. Now with ChatGPT, there's no excuse. You can sit there for 30 minutes and come up with 1,000 freaking, ideas and scripts because of AI. You do that on a different day, and then on your shooting day, just commit to doing like an hour and a half, 2 hours max of shooting, and for how much you could actually get done. The one thing that's always kind of the issue is it really was easy for me before because I had an editor. So editing yourself is kind of like a hassle. So we need to figure out, AI is getting better, as far as have AI do it, or finding a dedicated editor, offshore editor that can do all the edits. That will literally make or break it. There's not one content person out there that's not a kid. There's a bunch of kids that edit their own stuff, but people with jobs and lives, there's not one of them I know that edits their own stuff right now. It's sent off somewhere that it's split up, and now you can use software to auto post everything. So literally, if the commitment should just be like half hour to hour a week of developing what you're going to like talk about, and then an hour to 2 hours a week of filming. That's it. And then hand it off to an editor, and then just schedule the post. Have somebody schedule the post, or if you want to spend another 10 minutes or 15 minutes, schedule the post. But literally, if you think of it that way, it doesn't seem so daunting. Because if you think about it, within an hour, I was usually able to shoot. Well, back then there wasn't too many shorts, so it was mostly long form content. But when I was doing shorts, you can record maybe 20 of them in that time frame, and then one maybe 20-minute video. So 20 shorts and a long form video that you could chop up into more. That's literally like I don't know, like 3 posts a day that you can do just with that. So it's like it's overkill. It's like a lot, but you can it can be done in that short period. Any feedback or questions on it?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott, you want to say something?
Yeah, I want to hear what Sam has to say.
Yeah. Thank you. So the way it's always difficult when you're planning things. So like, hey, my personal brand is Badass COO, and the content is going to be about productivity, getting things done, motivation. Okay, after I get that topic, the broad theme of what I want to do, then I kind of sit down and try to figure out with this Excel spreadsheet. And all right, Monday's going to be this topic, Tuesday's going to be this. But one of my philosophy, the pillars of my philosophy is maximize over optimize. So I was like, you know what, forget it. I just start shooting. So what I ended up doing last week was I have a little cell phone holding thing in my car. You can get it from Amazon, whatever. And then I just start recording when I'm actually driving. I mean, be careful. Don't do it safely, right? Don't do it. Like don't. You have to make sure you're paying attention to the road. But the way that I now pick topics is that I'm on X a lot, Twitter, and then I have a list of people who I follow that are considered my whom I consider my influencers. So I check out what they are posting about, and they probably have a team of people who are helping them post, right? So what they're posting in a way is already vetted. They're posting those kind of stuff because they kind of know that, oh, hey, there's a higher likelihood of these posts being received well by my audience, right? So I just look at what they're posting, and then I just create video off of the topics of what they're posting, not really like regurgitating what they're saying, but hey, one person posted about, hey, stop focusing so much about courses and books, and more focus on action and application of it. Oh, that's a good topic. So I just record like 20-second thing in my car on the drive, and then I just pick one day. Usually for me, it's weekend. It's just like I just sit down in front of my computer. I don't have an editor right now, so I just edit myself. Just like edit stuff. So one of the fears that I had was that, hey, what if I run out of stuff to talk about? That's like a big fear. So I guess that the way that I ended up remedying it is, okay, people post every single day. Let's see what they're posting about, and then kind of benchmark what they're posting. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Cool. I want two things I want to point out about that. So one of the things, like a good example is like going to the gym, right? There's a lot of like guys that say like, hey, if you really want to get yourself to go to the gym, the most difficult part is getting to the gym. So if you lay out like your gym clothes, you lay out your shoes by the door, like everything is ready, your water bottle is ready to go. It's much easier to get to the gym if like it's all laid out. The same thing is with filming. If your place that you're going to like film is already set up, then all you do is walk in front of it. So one of the things I used to set it up the day before, so the next day it's already there. And like, it's like, I already set it up. I got to go do it. Right. But the idea also is it doesn't have to be super like fancy and set up. Like Sam is proving that because he's just filming in his car. I mean, there's no freaking set, right? It's just a camera and a car and filming. So at the beginning, it's more important to just get content out there than to have it all look produced and everything. Right. Sometimes unproduced content even performs better than produced, so you don't even know. So might as well do the path of least resistance from the beginning. But going back to what he was saying about piggybacking off other people's ideas, that's a good way. There's AI could give you a million ideas too. Another way too is if you figure out. So this is for long form content. Like if you get ChatGPT or whatever, you're copying other people's ideas, you make a big list and you create shorts. The shorts that perform the best, that's what you do the long form content on. But also one thing is what I realized after studying a bunch of these influencers, there's nothing wrong with running out of things to say. I can tell you Hormozy has said the same thing on probably like 100 videos, like literally. And the reason for that is if you look at the metrics, like especially like on our TikTok, the amount of new people versus people returning is so drastic. It's like 80% new people, 20% returning pretty consistently on a lot of the stuff. Probably when you get to millions of followers, it changes. But the thing is, at the beginning, they probably haven't heard it yet anyway. You can literally say the same message like 100 times, and then like 80% of them are going to hear it for the first time. So it's almost like you should be repeating it. If it's a point that performed well and is needed for your brand, you should be saying it over and over. Don't be afraid that, oh, people are going to get sick of me saying the same thing, because realistically, like a small percentage of your audience will see it again. You know what I mean? And then if they resonated the first time, I don't think they're going to complain, hear it again. I mean, I've heard Hormozy say the same thing 100 times, and I don't complain about it. It's like, yeah, like you need to hear it. You know what I mean? It's a good message. So yeah, just keep posting regardless.
The other thing I'd recommend is moving slightly to your right so you could be on camera.
Well,
when you're
I think
speaking.
this may be
Is it us or is it?
yeah.
The only person that's on camera is Scotty right now. So
Oh, interesting.
Seriously?
Oh,
I see half of Jason as
Yeah.
yeah.
God bless you.
So that's our view. No.
I got Jay's right eye and Saul's left
There
ear.
you go.
Oh, interesting.
Well, I think on the video it records.
Well,
the
it's
whole
my
thing.
best ear because it's got the little, ridge, little Spock thing going.
It's not your Trump ear.
So my thing is throwing out there. I know we've talked a million hours about this. You know, when we first started with Mentor Makerspace and having a strategy where, you know, we have a long form and then we're able to chop that up, and then different platforms we use for different purposes. But I think when I'm considering what I'm going to be, the content that I'm going to be putting out, I'm going to be thinking, okay, like you already said, what is the ultimate goal? How am I going to, what am I going to try? So like Derek, for example, I'm thinking about how is he going to figure out what content to talk about if he doesn't know the end result of how he's going to charge people or what he's trying to create? Like, is he going to have a coach student dynamic, or is it going to be him only trying to get stuff out there so he can get business as a therapist, or is it a side hustle, like he's trying to get out there so he could do mortgage stuff, you know, have an end, like monetary financial goal? What are you
Get like a million followers on YouTube?
Huh?
Yeah. So
Get a million followers on YouTube.
Yeah.
so
But why?
the idea of finding that financial is really to figure out how you can help somebody. I think Derek kind of like, it's pretty straightforward of how he can help somebody. So it's not super imperative for him, because they're as long as he knows that he can make an impact, it's a very like conventional way to make money from what he's doing. It could be some sort of
Like as a coach though, in that capacity
it
for
could be
women
it
and
could
men?
be literally just it could be as a coach, it could be as a, you know, doing a retreat like you guys were doing a retreat. It could be with actually doing mortgage and insurance services for these couples. It could be from monetization from platform, like, you know, like you were saying, whatever. But you know, he's one step ahead as far as like knowing exactly like how he can help people. So as long as he starts creating the content to do that and capturing their information, when he solidifies exactly what he wants to do with it, then at least he can do it. Now, it shouldn't stop him from, like, you know, already posting, because he already kind of knows what he's.
Well, if he wanted to do events mainly, he would probably have more topics talking about, hey, here's an event, or here's something, here's if you do go, you know, I just imagine based on how he's going to help people, it would direct his content of what he's going to talk
And
about.
you could split it too, because you figure if I involve my wife, then you could have the men's retreat, you can have women's retreat, you could have a couples retreat. You could again, you know, have followings. There could be, I don't know, you know, maybe people like want to peel off time and go like, hey, we as a couple are dealing with this. You know, I don't know. I'm not really gotten that far yet. I figure,
Yeah,
but
I mean, that could be your
start kind of creating some content and getting a better feel for what the topic's going to be, what we're going to say. And then, you know, what they say, like most people end up here, that's not necessarily where they planned on starting out at. You know, just more or less leave it in God's hands and let it take on an evolution of its own. I mean, obviously you got to have a kind of a plan in mind, but if I have the baseline here, that, you know, for me is always starting. I'm a ready, set kind of guy. So as long as I go, then let let it take its course, and believe that as I begin to do this, that, you know, the river will turn and I'll find my place wherever that may be.
The idea of posting is, for me at least, it's about building audience.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you have a following, you build an audience, and then you collect their information with your lead magnet. My primary goal is to build an email list of, say, like 50 people, 100 people, right? And then if you actually eventually plan an event later on, then you have a list of people you can reach out to immediately. Hey, thanks for following me so far. By the way, there's an upcoming retreat or upcoming in-person meet. I'm gonna be in this area. So like the idea is to build an audience first and then utilize that audience later. I mean, I don't have to know exactly where I'm gonna go in terms of what I'm gonna do. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'm gonna host a freaking badass retreat. I don't know, right? But the idea, my primary goal at the moment is actually build an audience of 100 people, 200 people who are following me because of the content, not because I'm trolling on someone else's comments, you know. So once I have quote unquote my audience, then I think I have some materials to work with.
Yeah, the idea of monetizing or figuring out how you're going to monetize is not necessarily, you don't have to have that in place to be able to start posting, right? The idea is because, like, there's two reasons. Is if you do that, you kind of think of what you need to provide to be able to one day make money. So as long as you figure out what problem you're solving, then you're good, because you can make money with any of that stuff. But it's also mostly for motivation, because this is the thing. It's one of those things that it takes time to build, and it's like typically you don't see too much out of it at the beginning, right? So that's why I'm the big believer in like making it as easy as possible. Like, don't make it super produced or whatever, because the number one thing I see most people like do it and fail is because they pour so much into like their first like 5 videos, and then like they get like 3 views, and then they're like, God, I spent like a month making games for 3 views, right? It's just discouraging. So like, just get it out there. But for the financial thing, if you have at least some sort of goal with the financial, then in your brain, it doesn't feel like it's for nothing. It feels like, hey, I could turn this into something that's going to generate some money. So then it'll just push you to keep going.
Well, I've been on the other side. So like, for example, I forgot to tell you, when we went to All Magic, when I was walking into All Magic, the manager at America's Tires, I hear Scotty, and I turn around. He's like, hey man, I've been watching your podcast and your video. And I was like, oh, okay. Son of a bitch. All right, cool, man. Right? That was cool. But so I've been posting for a long time, right? Lots of stuff. There's an audience there, but haven't monetized the damn thing. And that's why I'm bringing it up, not because I'm here, I'm talking to myself, right? As I'm going to be figuring out what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be consciously creating content. I'm going to try to figure out, how am I going to direct to a financial goal, not just.
That's the thought process, because right now your posts are, it's not clear what you do with the posts. You know, if somebody just watched like 5-year posts, they should know exactly like what you're all about and what you're doing. Like, if they wanted to get more out of it, they know like what they would be getting. Like that's the whole idea. So if you align it towards a financial goal, like a business, then it makes sense that people could see your posts and be like, okay, I know what this guy is about. If I did anything to take the next step with him, I know what I would be getting. Right, like, that's why with Derek, it's very clear. It's relationship, like having a better, happier marriage. That's the end result. Yeah. So it's very easy.
And that's why I wanted to repeat it. I wanted to beat this horse because of that exact reason, because of what I've been doing, and who God only knows, because it's this and this and this. But if you're going to create content, you might as well do it with an intention. I think maybe that's it. Intention.
It's intention. That's the end result, is intention. Like Sam said, it could go all over the place. I mean, for all, like, Derek is primed with his stories to be able to launch a book. You know what I mean? You can write a book literally on raising a special needs child, a book on like dealing with addiction in a marriage, a book on like, you know, I mean, there's so many things you can write.
That's just it. Like I have I got a garage full of boxes. Literally.
Exactly. Like, but it could literally just be the book. Like, all these people that you're helping and building the audience, you launch your book one day, it's like, oh, I got a whole audience of people that's going to buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could literally be that too.
That's something that crossed my mind as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But like you said, just building the audience first, getting in the habit of creating the content and, you know, dripping it out to the public. And then, you know, over time,
It's the habit. It's making it easy. The secret is making it easy.
Yep.
So you can repeat it and then keep it staying motivated so you can see an end goal. Like if you do it like, why am I doing this for? Oh no, I'm planning on writing a book. Every email I'm getting is going to be potentially somebody who's going to buy the book. This is why I keep doing this, right? There just has to be some sort of end goal. Otherwise, you just kind of like burn out, you know?
Call it the midday minute.
Yeah.
When people start burning out,
Yeah.
you know, just take a break with a midday minute.
All right. So let's wrap it up with some things we're going to do this week. Sam, you want to start?
Yeah, I'm gonna continue filming until I have 30 films ready and edited.
30. I thought you said 6 before. Did you go 30?
No, I already have 11 down. So I'm
Okay.
recording like 2-3 every single day.
You can start posting already with 11, honestly.
All right. Okay. All right.
It's hard. It's hard though.
That'll motivate you.
Oh, he's using that do hard things manifesto thing. You know? Okay.
We'll do
All right,
the whole thing.
okay. All right, I'll post.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll start
Well,
posting.
one more thing I know Scotty was touching on this. So as we go more into it, when like the type of post and the way you format the post, there's certain ways that get more engagement and there's certain things that'll get more views. A lot like what everybody tried to do is shoot one long form content and split it up into a million videos.
Yep.
The problem with that is it's kind of like playing the lottery because nobody really wants to like hear what you have to say unless they know who you are. So that'll work for like Tony Robbins or any celebrity. They could split up their stuff. They see the face and they want to hear what they have to say, right? But as a nobody in the internet, like I think if you don't have the time to do anything else, it's better to do that than nothing. But that probably should be like the number one strategy as far as just shooting one thing and cutting it up and posting it. You know what I mean? There should be intention behind each video. Even if it's real quick and short, there should still be some intention. So just keep that in mind.
Cool.
Yeah. Derek, what do you think this week?
So I'm probably not going to do anything. Then I'm going to come back to next week and tell you that I'm going to probably try to do something. And then the week after, no. What I'm going to do, so I've taken some notes and some ideas and some things and just of what you said. So I'll spend some time this week, being that I'm behind, a couple meetings of this, to create some idea for subject matter. I'm going to search top related relationship and life expert influencers. I'm going to look up 10 to 15 most discussed topics for each bullet point that I've already listed, search questions for couples. And then one of the last things you said, I'm going to look up how to create content structure to get high engagement. And then I'm going to organize all of this so that at least I have myself an outline in which to work with.
Okay.
So I think for me, we'll do that foundational work this week and then have that set up as a result to show that I did do it at the next meeting. And then from there, begin what my next steps are.
Okay, I'll give you a way to do this. So write a paragraph that says I am a and then blank. Hey, I am someone who's trying to help, improve marriages, through my experience, blank, 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 with raising blank, 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 with going through blank, blank, blank. It's my intention to help them. And then give me 20 other like influencers or coaches that talk about similar topics in this. And then give me, I don't know, whatever. You probably have to play with this, like 100 100 ideas of topics to talk about on short form video that have the highest chance of going viral. Put that in ChatGPT or Grok or something. Literally, it'll give you all those answers right there.
And the reality is, as someone looking at it from the outside, what you've offered, every topic you mentioned today, you could do a 1-minute video about overcoming this in your marriage, overcoming that with a special needs child, participating in their life.
Yeah.
You know, being
Yeah,
supportive.
because there's little segments of everything of that, like not recognizing that your child has a disability and then discovering over time that your child has a disability, then getting the psychological report back of the severity of the disability, then engaging on what steps to take because of the disability and how to grow them out of that
Yeah.
disability.
So after you get those initial results of like those 20 ideas based on the profile that you've created and set, like what you do, you could go more granular. So if there's one that says, you know, one of them is like, hey, tips for, maybe it's like 5 tips for how to, you know, make the, you know, or like maybe the best methods to raise a, you know, a special needs child, or like 5 resources or whatever it may be, right? Then you tell, hey, this topic, give me 20 more on that. And then it'll, you know, so you find
Add
out
on more.
that kind of resonate with you, and then you ask it to go deeper on it. You can get all, like, this is within minutes. You could do this within like 10 minutes and have like all your content. Then each one, hey, write me like some outline or like a 30-second script that would go for with each one. And then you go through that and just tweak it. I mean, literally, it'll save you so much time, and it'll probably
Well, I just did last week with real estate topics to do video for like home buying process, you know, like what are the steps, and then basically give me, what did I say? You know, I'm going to do it as a YouTube video. I need a 1 minute verbiage or clip. I forget how I wrote it, but I have it all. I've saved it all onto a Word document. It's on my desktop right now. But yeah, that's what I started playing with, so that way I could take buyers through, like, you know, what are home buyers top 15 questions. Great. I want to create a YouTube channel identifying a subject of those each topics, and I want to make that within a minute. Give me the verbiage for it. And that was what I did. And then I copied it. So like I have that on deck as well now to create that content specifically for like home buyers.
Yeah.
And home sellers.
Yeah, it's use AI. It's gonna change it. It's nobody should have any excuse to not be able to do it now. It's like it's all right there. AI can point you in the right direction and save you so much time. Pam, how about you for this week?
Well, I'm going to do a lot of research. I'm gonna see what's out there pertaining to my brand and what population I definitely want to reach and what my intentions are. And you know, I have some more searching to do.
Yeah, I would suggest doing the same thing. Just write your little thing. Hey, this is my journey. I am this, going through this. I am, but I want to motivate people to do this, like what I'm trying to do. Blah blah blah, and then just ask the same questions, like who talks about topics like this. You know, what topics can I talk about? It'll at least get you some ideas.
Excellent.
So
I'm going to figure out how to do one of these.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to do
That feels like a good next step for me.
Yeah, I think Sam, you said you used AI for yours to help you with that, right? I mean, you can do that too. You know, ask it for a lead magnet. If I want to create a 5-step PDF, what would be the most valuable to the audience that I'm looking for? You know, and then just it'll give you at least some ideas and keep drilling down on it. Go ahead.
Are you guys using Grok for all of your stuff, or using ChatGPT or Claude or?
For me, I use Grok for a lot of stuff, but I don't really like the way Grok writes. it's a little. I mean, I think it's not my personality where I can get ChatGPT to write a little bit more the way I would write. Grok writes a little like, I don't know, storyteller. It's like kind of out there.
I just downloaded it actually this last week, so I just started playing.
Registered, so I would have to.
But does Grok, as you ask questions and it puts does it begin to understand your question asking style and respond that way, like say ChatGPT does?
So yeah, for each chat. So it starts a new session every time you open up a new chat. If you create a chat and you talk about the content for your stuff, as long as you keep referring back to that conversation, it'll remember and build upon what you guys are talking about.
Does that require a paid version? I mean, because I have an account, like it's the Bing chat 4 or GPT-4.
Yeah, I believe so. It's the paid version. I use a paid version, and I just heard that, I don't know if it's true, but they said they're going to raise it to $50 a month.
Oh wow. Thought
Well,
that
they could do it probably at this point as more and more people, engage in it.
DeepSeek was gonna because they're
Well,
giving it for free,
but
so
it's
I thought
not-
it would drive the price.
It's not
down.
only for, because it's other benefits. It's for the X account, the premium X account. That's
Oh, Grok. Got it.
It's for the X account, the premium.
Yeah, the premium plus went up already. But then another thing they're offering right now is called Super Grok. Super Grok is $30 a month, but you don't have any cap, so you can pretty much use it unlimited.
Oh, so basically it's like the premium plus without the rest of the benefits.
Even premium plus has a cap on how many questions you can ask in 2 hours. So
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah.
even do the cap on it. I haven't hit it yet, so I don't know.
So I mean, personally, I use Grok too, but in terms of a stylistic responses that it generates, you can actually ask, hey, you're being a little bit too casual, make it more professional. Like you can do those kind of things too.
So does it also help with the formatting, like how it looks that way?
No, that one I use Grok. I already had those 5 points kind of outlined already in my head, and then I just asked Grok, hey, here's an idea I have. So my idea was, hey, here's like 5 things I want to talk about in my short ebook, and then the Grok populated the rest of the text. So it's just all text. The design element, like the format and those, I did it in Adobe Express. So copy paste the text, but then the format and then the graphic elements, little icons, those are me.
Are you guys? Is the platform? Is this all YouTube platform?
The social media channels we're using.
Yeah, that you're creating all this. Is this going to be on a YouTube channel?
Wait, for this video, or you're talking about just
No. Just saying based on the content that we're creating. So
it's up to you.
What's the medium?
It's up to you for depending on where you think the So I think me and Sam are kind of similar. I think we're going to be doing X and YouTube mostly,
and TikTok,
and TikTok, X, YouTube, and TikTok. I found those. So YouTube, is the best or only real viable long form format place. And if you're going to sell something on something that's going to be monetized, long format is like what converts them. Shorts lead them to find out more about you, and then the long format sells them. So you still need like a YouTube component. But for discovery, X and TikTok seem to be the best. Instagram, if you have more visual type stuff, Instagram is good. Yeah, but where it's mostly X and TikTok for discovery.
Okay. That's kind of like the flash sale. That's kind of like that. Go this way, turn right, and then next turn.
Yeah, if you become a somebody, like say you start developing 100,000.
Whoa! I'm already a somebody. Sam told me at Toastmasters.
No, you're the everything to us. I'm just saying that somebody to anyone outside of these two.
I'm an everything bagel, my favorite.
No, but the kind of the rule of thumb is people start developing their Instagram when they have some sort of following. So it's for discovery, it's kind of a struggle a little bit unless you have really eye appealing, attention grabbing stuff, which you could do, but it just requires more production. But usually people migrate to Instagram after they find you on another platform. So that's why it's still probably something that needs to be maintained, but not really focused on. You're focused on the engagement and trying to get the numbers on TikTok and X, but then Instagram, people are always on Instagram. So if they find you on another, they might try to search for you on there. So I don't know. How about you?
So I'm going to try to do one of those lead magnets too.
Yeah.
And then also have a content, kind of a conceptual outline of what and then when I'm going to post. Those are my 2 goals.
Do you know in GHL, do they have a code editor in the landing page, or is it all just their builder?
The one that I use is a GHL native builder.
Yeah.
I don't know if they actually have a copy paste HTML version though.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll look into it. I'm just thinking like it might be cool if we develop some sort of lead magnet like template or whatever that, everybody could just use, we could just,
Have their native templates you can pick and choose from.
yeah.
So like when you're building a landing page,
People joining us too. Yeah,
For
not
sure.
just us, but whoever
That's
else.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I guess we can use, well, they'll be kind of forced to create a Go High Level account or something. I don't know how, or I don't even know if you could share it though. With Go High Level, like from one account to another. Remember, we were trying to figure that out.
yeah. I'll figure it out.
Okay. All right. Yeah, cool. Anything else before we wrap it up?
How about you? What do you want to do this week?
What? Oh, me? Yeah, I mean, I got this done. My landing page is pretty much ready to go, so I'll be sharing that. I did basically that exercise I told you to do for the content. So aside from the content that I was planning on doing, I have AI generated me like 100 pages worth of content and scripts already. So I'm ready to go on that. I'm still contemplating on the brand as far as, so I know I need to keep my own. Remember, I was telling you of changing the name.
Yeah.
I still need my own brand, so I still need my own stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to create it on a secondary account. As far as the Ascend to Elite having its own channel, I remember I was telling you before I was going to have a spam account. So I don't know if that's going to be the spam account or if it's going to be a third account. But but it's just. Yeah, I've determined. Yeah, I still need to have the personal brand channel. So I'm not going to change the name of it, being like a Ascend to Elite rather than my name. But I need that for some of the posts that I'm going to be doing. I do need that separately. So it's just whether if that's the spam channel or if that's its own thing. It might be the spam channel at the end of the day.
I have a cool nickname idea for your personal brand. Why don't we call it "Kill It with Kitamura"?
If you change yours to
Sam.
Sam, your AI.
No, that's too similar.
Do it.
I think one samurai theme is okay, but you have it, man.
All
Kill It with Kitamura. Yeah.
All right.
Mine's going to be Derek and my domino.
Good call, guys.
Yeah, what is it?
You guys ever heard of Derek and the Dominoes?
Kitamura.
Have you not heard of Derek and the Dominoes?
Nope.
No.
I didn't know what direction you were
I don't
going
think
for
I'm
that.
old enough for
Yeah, I
that.
think that's
Oh
before
my God.
in the 50s.
I know.
Derek and the Dominoes, like it's an old band.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. It's an old
I'll ask
band.
my mom.
Like, look up Derek and the Dominoes. Yeah, ask your mom. Exactly. Ask your mom.
All right, guys.
All right.
Well,
Do.
Later.